Hello everybody, this is Zach at it again, and I am so honored to be here live at the magnificent Foster Falls Inn for this podcast, and I'm here with Brian Gardner, who is on staff at Foster Falls Inn and treating my family and I as we speak to a wonderful dessert, social, and tea. Thank you so much for joining me, Brian.
I'm happy that y'all are here.
It's an honor to be here, and I'm very honored that you pointed out that I was the first ADA guest
Yes,
at the Foster Falls
absolutely.
since opening in April. That's correct.
That's big. So we're happy that you're here to help give us some feedback.
I'm very honored to be here. My family is very honored to be here. My wife, we have been married for 13 years on the 10th of next month. And for our entire married life, we've been going up the New River Trail and looking at this beautiful place and hearing that it was going to be a hotel and somebody bought it, but no, maybe nobody did buy it, and hearing rumors, and finally somebody had, and this is an $11 million renovation.
Yes.
And as you go through this place, everywhere you can see where every dollar was poured into this place. It is top notch all the way around.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about where you're from and how you got involved with the Foster Falls Inn?
I will. So I'll give a little history about Foster Falls here.
Please do.
Which will lead up to me.
Right.
So in 1887, which was the year also that the Mercantile in Draper was built, was when the iron ore mining company arrived here and started mining iron ore to create pig iron that is used in the production of steel. So that was a very successful endeavor. And they said, we need to create something so that our guests can come here and have a nice place to stay. So they are the ones that built the hotel to begin with.
It was originally a hotel.
It was originally a hotel
Wow, I
to begin
did not
with.
know that.
It started out as a hotel. So it was also the trading post, the commissary. So the town was thriving, back wherever you had industry, and then you had the train, and then you had the depot. Little towns started growing.
Right.
So there was about 100 or so families that lived here. So that went on for a number of years, very successful. The area, really blossomed until around 1916, when a catastrophic flood hit the area, 35 feet above the normal floodplain.
Yeah.
It destroyed the bridge that the miners crossed over to mine the iron ore on the other side of the river, and then they would bring it back here, and then they would melt it down in the furnace. So the bridge was destroyed.
Is that the Austinville Bridge or the Jackson Ferry Bridge?
It would be the Austinville, yeah.
Thought it was Austinville.
And that's where the pylons still exist. The only remnant left of the bridge. So then they had to decide whether they were going to pull out or not, and they did. So they pulled out and decided to close the mining production. So at that point, they sold the hotel. And the hotel then went to the Presbyterian Church of Abingdon, Virginia, for $1. So that really is true. People say, is that really true? That is true. They sold it for $1. And the Presbyterian Church decided that their mission was going to be the helping of teenage girls. So they did, and they started an industrial school for girls. So that went on for a number of years. It was very successful. And the nice thing about that is that it wasn't just to learn how to be a housewife. They actually did teach academic classes. So that went on for a number of years. Then at one point, in the 30s, they decided that they wanted to reach out to the boys, the Appalachian boys as well. But they decided that a school was not the answer, and at that point, they opened up the home for children. So then it became an orphanage.
And that's where we have generations and generations of people in Wythe County and Carroll County who have ancestors who are here.
Correct,
Who
correct.
were here.
What was really fun is that what was really kind of interesting, we had an open house a month or so ago, and we had a number of orphans who are now in their like late 70s or 80s showed up.
Wow.
So that was really fun.
Yeah.
So we interviewed them, and we'll be spreading their word and their message as well.
Absolutely.
So the school stopped. The orphanage began. The building behind here that is still bricked up was the boys' dormitory.
That's the building, but I was wondering about that.
There'll be phase 2 of that for the production of some more rooms in the future.
So additional lodging space.
Correct. What happened then in 1940, there was a catastrophic fire in here. And it was a pretty bad fire in this building. But the church decided that they were going to renovate it and continue it on. So they did. So things went on. The orphanage was a big hit. The children had a wonderful life here. The train kept running.
So it was not a bad place to be. People
Correct.
were happy here.
It was a happy place. And I'm glad that you said that, because all the rumors that we've heard, we had some contrary rumors to that,
right,
until we met the actual orphans that were here, and they dispelled the myths of anything but a nice life.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So they had a good life here. Then in the 60s, people had pulled out of here. The industry had left, and the Presbyterian Church decided to move the children to Wytheville, where it still exists today, a beautiful place. So it was boarded up, and that's what you and everybody that grew up in this area watched it for all those years, wondering what on earth is going to happen to that building.
Well, my wife started writing a novel when we first got married about the Foster Falls Orphanage, and I hope she'll finish it.
Oh, okay. Well, this is kind of meant to be.
Yeah, that was
This is meant to be.
Tell me again about how you became involved.
Okay, so then in 1996, the state of Virginia decided, okay, it's time to buy the building. So they did. So they purchased this building, and then they decided that they would want it with the idea of bringing tourism to Southwest Virginia, more tourism. So they spent 20 years debating on what to do.
1996.
And then
that is 27 years ago.
Right. So the building sat empty from around 63 to 96, and then again for about 15 more years before they decided to start and to gut that building. So they did end up deciding that they were going to gut everything in here. The infrastructure on the outside was still good. Mm-hmm. So the brick structure was good, but the inside is all brand new construction.
Right.
Excuse me. One thing that's really nice, Zach, is that they chose, instead of artwork, they chose natural photography of the area to help promote even further the idea
the history of
this area and the beauty of the area. So this is for the beauty of the area. The natural beauty.
You can't paint a picture like this.
No, you can't. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Mountains here in Wythe County. Let me ask you, because I didn't even let you answer the question how you became involved, but let me ask you while the 9-year-old is not in the room, do you hear of any paranormal activity? Because I know that's what people are going to want to know. Is there?
Okay, so that's a rumor that's been going around forever.
Yeah, okay.
So that is a rumor that is here. We hear about that. Mm-hmm. So we have yet to really experience anything.
Right.
But is that the big talk of the area? Yes. About the hotel being haunted.
Yeah.
Yes, we do hear that from a lot of people. So So personally, we haven't really experienced anything,
Yeah, you haven't heard it from guests since you've been open.
we have not, that's correct.
Yeah, that's
That's
what I
correct.
wanna know. Because my wife really loves that stuff. And she got out and she said, "Ooh, this is eerie." And I said, "What?" I said, "It's just, I have not had any kind of paranormal experience, but I believe in energy and feeling, and this, when you feel the history in here, if that makes any sense at all."
Yes. No,
Very
I get
alive,
you.
very
I get you.
alive with that.
Absolutely. And there's friendly ghosts. There's friendly people, friendly spirits,
And-
if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go so far as to say I'm looking for ghosts, but
Right.
you.
But that rumor is, but you are right, that is something that has gone on for years and years and years. And, so we've yet to have people say anything paranormal has happened, so.
Have you had good business since you opened in April?
Well, we never knew exactly when it was going to open because with construction, you just really never know until it's actually open. So we were not allowed, we couldn't start taking any reservations until Easter when it opened. So it's a little bit, business is picking up now, so we're excited about that.
You need to get people to get the word out.
So please put the word out.
That's what I'm here for.
So once the hotel was built, then the state opened up the contract to manage the hotel. That's where we came in. So I'm part of the family in Draper that owns the Mercantile.
Okay.
So my brother and his wife, Bill and Debbie Gardner, own the Mercantile, and we are part of a family that owns some of the houses on the New River. So, but the state has watched the New River Retreat, which is our housing company, grow all these years, and so they were happy that we partnered with them to manage the hotel.
And thank God the state got involved, because that enabled people like me to be able to come and visit this place who would not have been able to access it otherwise. There are so many places on historical registers that I would love to see that I cannot, because they are protected by law. It can't be altered, which I don't understand why you couldn't stick a metal ramp on the side of a door so somebody could see it that wanted to.
Well, I see what you're saying.
Particularly if I want to give them my money to see a certain place, So I'm very happy that the state got involved to make it accessible for all people.
And I guess part of that is that to be able, since they gutted the building,
Right.
they had the freedom to create wider halls. The hallways are pretty wide down here. They had to create the new elevator because the stairwells are still a little bit narrow.
I see.
But we'll go upstairs and we'll see how that feels.
Great.
Because we have to go to the outdoor porch.
So you are from?
So we have 8 siblings, and we are from Charlotte and Atlanta. But I now live in Draper.
Great. Did you make the dessert, by the way?
The Draper Mercantile.
Draper Mercantile
yes.
made it. I'm not a fan of blueberries, really, but that was fantastic.
Okay, well, good.
That was fantastic.
I'm glad you
And the truffles that came also from the Draper Mercantile were
Yes.
heavenly as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, that was really wonderful. It's really.
Isn't it pretty? Isn't the building nice?
It's very surreal to be here. It's just
Is it?
like it's just a presence here, and it's really something to behold. Really something.
The state did a beautiful job to represent a hotel at the turn of the century. Like, for example, your room has tall ceilings,
Yes.
a comfortable bed, a large bathroom. That was one of the things important to us. So.
And you want to have the modern amenities. You want to have the modern amenities, but you want to keep the history of the past alive. And that you definitely get a sense of past, present, future from the time you pull in the park.
Okay, well, good. Well, yeah, well,
You see the fresh paint. You can tell that everything's new. You can smell the freshness of it all.
Yeah.
But then everything from the light fixtures there. And as you said, the tall ceilings, and you can feel the history in this place.
Yeah.
And it makes you sad to see beautiful towns like Austinville and Foster Falls kind of go downhill when at one point they were the top. They were the industry of the county. The lead mines was the biggest industry in the county for 200 some years, and then it's like, okay, we kind of forgot about that. Let's make everything about Wytheville. But I would love for my wife to maybe finish that novel. She was going to ask too, like, if we didn't come to stay here, could we just like come one day and hang out? And,
sure.
And
sure.
Just like said, because she could just sit on the porch and write.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And
absolutely.
And that would mean a lot to us. Do you have, when you have guests? Or the only guests you have now is my family and the lady, or are there other guests? Or
there's another couple here too we have a lot of people that are passing through since we are so close to the highway. So they live up in Ohio, and they have been down to Greensboro. So they said they heard about Foster Falls, and they're staying here tonight as well.
Great. So you get a lot of because it's not. Wytheville is a halfway point between Florida and the Great Lakes, so we are an interstate stop.
Exactly.
So
the nice thing is we're right off, we're right at 77 and 81.
We're getting some of that interstate traffic.
We are.
Glad to hear that.
And I think, too, Zach, that when you have people, once you go live with a website, they can people on the highway can just Google us, can Google hotels, and we pop up now.
Yeah. And I mean, if you wanted to, when I was doing my research for Austinville, I thought, if I wanted to stay in a place in the area, there's nothing. You'd have to go all the way to Fort Chiswell, all the way back to Wytheville, so I might as well go back home, because that's where I live, So the fact that it is here, somebody can actually, it's right on the New River Trail. It's right on, you can just imagine, it's right on the railroad. You can imagine the trains coming through, and how nice that would have been to have the little whistle stops here. And it's really incredible. And I for one, I live about, I can see where the old Wytheville Depot building is from my house, and I for one would love to have the passenger trains back. I would be just hopping from stop to stop all the time just to ride it.
I hear you.
And my daughter loves trains, and that, just to bring some of that back, because Wythe County was a very booming place at one point, and we owe most of that to Austinville, Foster Falls area. What was it like to speak to those orphans that lived here?
It was wonderful, but I must say that day we had over 500 people showed up within 2 hours. For an open house, and so we were overwhelmed.
Yeah,
we expected to have a good turnout. Never something that big.
No, I figured it was going to be big.
It was big, so it was nice for me to personally meet people, but I was running the front desk, so I had to turn them over to the innkeeper, who is Beth, so that she could get their numbers and do a short interview so that we could reach them later to talk to them more extensively about their history.
Is there going to be a book or maybe
we don't know. We don't know just yet, but we will have something. We're just trying to gather information now. Yeah. Everything is still so new.
Right.
When you figure it's only been 9 to 10 weeks.
Right. What was their reaction to coming?
Oh, they were like you. It was like surreal. They could
Yeah.
not believe coming here and seeing what had happened and wondering. And I'd say one of the most fun things for me is for people that have come here like you that have watched this building throughout the years, because I haven't watched it while it was under. It looked really bad for all those years.
Right.
And for them to come back and say, this is what they finally did with this building, and everyone is so excited when they walk through the doors, and I give them a tour. They're like, we never thought that this would happen.
Yeah, and it's a happy ending, and you don't see that for these small towns.
That's right. It's an absolute happy ending.
And there are so many gorgeous buildings in this county that I came in this world naked and broke. I expect that's how I'll leave it. But if I had money, I would say this is what I would do. And then to see something like this open for this part of the county, I've been waiting for this a long time.
And it's just really beautiful because the setting is so nice. And then the evenings, like this time of night, is so wonderful to be here and to be out on the porches.
And when the sun is shining.
Oh, it's amazing.
You can't.
And we'll go upstairs because to sit up on the porch upstairs is really a nice experience. It's just a nice feel.
That is.
So yes, so I really am excited to have somebody like you come here that has seen it all these years and is now amazed once again at how beautiful it has turned out.
Just admired it from afar and seen it as a beautiful building with a lot of history, but to be in it and to actually feel you really do feel the history in this place. And I'm very, very honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for talking with me, and it's something I will never forget for sure.
Oh, well, thank you.